I don't know how. I don't see Russell starting over him. Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't see it. And bringing in 2 quarterbacks in the offseason it never makes sense to me. Same with Atlanta drafting Michael Penix Jr. after bringing in Kirk Cousins.
The Patriots, they drafted 2 quarterbacks in this draft.
They did.
1 3rd overall and 1 in the 6th.
They did.
And we'll get more into it later on.
But that Ayuk trade, I think that would be a good fit. I think I could see a similar type of role with Pittsburgh that he has now with San Fran. It'd be interesting. It would kind of...
Yeah, he'd just be the number 1 instead of the number 2.
Yeah. Is it... Okay. Is it a fair assessment to say his role or his fitment with Pittsburgh kind of in a way reminds me of like a... I don't want to say a Chase Claypool, but like a Chase Claypool is if he was like more dynamic. Does that make sense? Like, okay, if he went to Pittsburgh, I could see him.
Don't you ever compare those 2 together again?
No, I'm saying in terms of like role fitment with the team. The same way that Chase Claypool fit with Pittsburgh. If he is more dynamic than he was, I see that as Brandon Ayuk. Is that a fair assessment?
I don't think so, because I think... I get what you're saying, but Brandon Ayuk can do a lot more than Claypool.
Exactly. I'm saying if he was more dynamic, given the skill gap.
He's not as tall as Claypool.
No.
I don't know. Possibly. I don't really think so, but I guess if
or even like a... Well, I guess it would depend. Maybe like a Smith-Schuster.
What team was he just on? Because he got released. Was it New England?
No, it was an East Coast team, wasn't it?
New England is East Coast.
It was New England. Well, no, because I was thinking... For some reason, I was thinking it was like the Jets or the Giants or something. But no, it was the Patriots.
He got released. Forgot to write that on the whiteboard, so we just got that out the way. Yeah, so
could re-sign with Kansas City too.
He could, but
I don't know.
I can't tell what Kansas City's trying to do, or it's more CeeDee Lamb. Because did you see what happened?
What is that? CeeDee Lamb is with Dallas.
I'm getting there. CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood Brown were teammates in college.
Yeah, at OU.
They both went on a social media, Twitter or something, and put the background picture of them together in college. And a lot of people are talking about, is CeeDee going to try and go to the Chiefs somehow? No. And those two get reunited? If that does happen, I love Andy Reid, but I'm going to hate the fucking Chiefs. Because that's going to be CeeDee Lamb and fucking Patrick Mahomes
with
and Travis Kelce. And I know there's a lot of videos of him not being able to catch, but worthy speed to get defenders away from CD and Travis. Who knows? Tony might start catching balls.
CeeDee Lamb won't go to Kansas City. That won't happen.
I'm really hoping not.
Jerry Jones will pay him before that happens.
No, he won't. He has to pay 3 people. Yeah, one of them's going to get the boot. Are you giving Micah the boot? Are you giving Dak the boot? Or are you giving CeeDee Lamb the boot?
See, that's tough.
If I was in those shoes, I would pay.
Those are like your cornerstone three pieces.
But they are all on their last year of the contract this year, and they've been wanting a payday this whole offseason.
Didn't Dak just get one not that long ago?
A couple years ago, it was just an extension.
I thought Dak had just recently gotten paid.
I think it was just an extension.
Well, if it's an extension, then how would he be on the last year?
Because it was a couple years ago.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody different.
Because they're projecting him with all the other quarterback signings. Dak's projected to make $60-65 million a year. Jerry's not going to pay that. I wouldn't pay Dak that much. He's not worth it.
He hasn't proved that he's worth it.
I love Kirk Cousins. He's not worth that contract he got.
No.
I've said this numerous times to people in argument. Oh, they say Dak's one of top 3 quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks. No, he's not. Him and Kirk Cousins have the identical stats. They can't win night games. They can't get a run in the playoffs.
They can't make it out of the first round.
They're not franchise quarterbacks. They don't deserve that money.
It's just a heavy quarterback market right now in this day and age. And because all these other quarterbacks are getting their money, the rest of them are following suit. I mean,
which I get and go them, but someone's got to break it. And who's going to break it? Who's going to put a stop to it?
I mean, even Daniel Jones got his money.
That I just laughed when I saw
Jordan Love is the highest paid quarterback on a year-to-year basis in NFL history. He is what? 3 seasons in? 4 seasons in?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
He has started
a year.
Not even a full season.
No, it was a full season.
Last year?
Plus a couple games at the end of the year before that.
Then he has one full starting year.
Because Rodgers didn't play in Green Bay last year. So he got all those reps.
So then he has one full starting year.
And then...
Actually, yeah, no, because Rodgers was with them in 22.
But I'm pretty sure he got hurt at the end of the year or something, and Jordan had to play a game or two.
Maybe. That's sounding familiar. But even then, he has one full starting year under his belt, barring any injuries that he had that would have caused him to miss any games. And he's now the highest paid quarterback on a year-to-year basis in NFL history. It is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. That's just... It's not right. But, hey, it is what it is. So I have it right here. In 2023, he played all 17 games. He had 372 completions on 579 attempts, which equaled out to 64.2 completion percentage, 4,159 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Really good stats. And then in 2022, he played 4 games, went 14-21, 66.7 completion percentage, only 195 yards in those 4 games, 1 touchdown to 0 interception ratio. And in 2021, he played 6 games, 36 out of 62 for a 58.1 completion percentage, 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not horrible, but
not horrible, but not that contract.
21,
not worth that contract.
27 games played in 3 years, and he's now the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Hey, go you, man. You, seems like you're doing some good stuff out there in Green Bay, so
1,000%, and I'm not, and I definitely don't discredit him or what he's doing. I just haven't seen enough of him yet to feel like
give him that money. No,
that's
exactly how I feel. So, yeah. So let's get into the Patriots QB situation. What's your thoughts on that between Drake May and I believe it's Milton? I saw some of the preseason game, and I saw the highlights for them. Drake May, he
really didn't have much.
No.
He only had a drive?
I want to say it was a drive. I know he went 2 for 3. I am finding it right here. I want to say I heard there was 18 combined punts in that game.
That wouldn't shock me.
New England ended up pulling off the win, 17-3 against the Panthers. It's preseason.
Yeah. And
so,
it's week 1 of preseason at that.
Yeah, so Bailey Zappi for New England, he had 12 of 20, 108 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Drake May, 2 for 3, 19 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Joe Milton III, yes. This man made a play that caught my attention, showing me that he was locked in and ready to ball. He drops back to pass. He's getting pressured. He rolls out to the right. He has defenders coming right to his face. He rolls out to he makes a big loop like Johnny Manziel used to do. Goes all the way back to the other side and picks up the first down with his legs. He went 4 of 6, 54 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and he also had 5 carries for 22 yards, averaging about just a little under 4.5 yards a carry. So, and then they had Jacoby Brissett. He went 0 for 3, which, yeah. So, who would you be leaning towards in this QB situation between Bailey, Joe, and Drake?
I'd probably be riding on the draft pick and ride Drake May. I mean, if anything, in my mind, if this is how I'm envisioning it, is week 1 of preseason is kind of a dress rehearsal, get you acclimated to the playbook, get you a little bit of game action, get you out there, let you get your feet wet behind the offensive line, get some game action, get some reps, get all of that under your belt. Granted, I thought it would be longer than just a drive, but
well, was he the starter?
Maybe week 2 will be longer than that. He'll have maybe a quarter or a half to work with. But I think Drake May has got to be considered the top guy going into the regular season.
I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that he hasn't been doing well. So I wonder, with Milton kind of showing out a little bit, that he's here to play. I mean, from that game on, are they going to be keeping a close eye on Milton and be like, hey, you have another decent game like that, we're going to give you some more time. You have another decent game, Drake May isn't performing like we thought or whatever, like, you may get your number called sooner. Is that a possibility? I mean,
could be.
Either way, Milton got a touchdown. For
his production was solid.
He got a touchdown. And then I want to say the other one was a rushing. Yes, Kevin Harris got a rushing touchdown. Patriots still punted 8 times, but Carolina also punted 10. There wasn't any fumbles. There wasn't any interceptions. Carolina went 2 for 14 on third down efficiency, 1 for 1 on fourth down. New England went 5 for 5 on third down and 0 for 0 on fourth down. Total plays, Carolina had 52. New England had 64. So they had 12 more plays than Carolina. So either way, it wasn't a pretty game. It wasn't.
I mean, week 1 of preseason, you almost kind of expect that, but
there were some pretty decent scoring games in week 1. I'm getting them pulled up right now. I thought I already had them, but apparently I did not.
Yeah, I did not catch any of the action for week 1. I caught bits and pieces. I saw a little bit of the highlights. I saw a couple Caleb Williams plays. Saw a couple J.J. McCarthy plays. Trying to think of who else.
I sent you a Bo Nix highlight.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So we had the Giants against the Lions, 14-3. Giants won, surprisingly. But again, it's preseason. Starters didn't play much, if any. You had the Falcons lose to the Dolphins. I'm sorry, 20-13. You had the Texans beat the Steelers, 20-12. My Eagles beat the Ravens 16-13. The Jets beat the Commanders 20-17. Chicago beat the Bills 33-6. Which also, going back to the Eagles-Ravens game, isn't that the Ravens' first preseason loss in like 5 to 6 years?
I was going to say that the Ravens don't lose in the preseason.
No, because they had like a 20-some game winning streak in the preseason of where they just went undefeated. I think we may have just actually broke that, and it hasn't really been talked much that I heard of. But yet they want to talk about it when the Ravens win every week in the preseason. So,
yeah.
Vikings beat the Raiders in a thriller, 24-23. Packers beat the Browns, 23-10. Jags beat the Chiefs, 26-13. Bucks beat the Bengals, 17-14. Titans beat the Niners, 17-13. Seahawks beat the Chargers, 16-3. Saints beat the Cardinals 16-14. I did not see how Spencer Rattler did. Spencer Rattler 9 of 17, 70 yards. That's not too bad. Did he have any rushing? 2 rushes for 8 yards and a touchdown. So, hey.
Not bad overall, first time.
No.
First time out there.
I heard he's been looking really good in camp and stuff too. So
I've seen the same thing.
So I wonder if Derek Carr doesn't play well, if your old high school friend Spencer will get a call up to a starting spot in the NFL.
We'll see.
You had the Broncos beat the Colts 34-30, and the Rams beat the Cowboys. It's always nice when the Cowboys lose, even in preseason. 13-12.
They're America's team when they lose, man.
We'll go over the upcoming week for preseason, and then we will dive into a couple more of the rookie quarterbacks, like we said, Bo Nix. You got Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. Let's just take a peek and see how some of the first, maybe second round QBs did. But we'll go over this upcoming week schedule first. You got my Eagles against the Patriots, Falcons against Ravens, Bengals versus Bears, Giants and Texans, Lions and Chiefs, Vikings and Browns, Seahawks and Titans, Bills and Steelers, Jets and Panthers, Commanders and Dolphins, Cardinals and Colts, Rams and Chargers, Bucks and Jags, Cowboys and Raiders, Packers, Broncos, Saints and Niners. Starting this Thursday with the Eagles and Patriots at 7 o'clock in New England. I feel like we go there every preseason. And that also takes you all the way till Sunday night, ending with the Saints and Seahawks or Packers and Broncos, depending on where you live and what game you can pick up on the TV. Unless you got Sunday ticket and all that, but it's going to be a Sunday night game. They both may be aired on TV, just different channels. Who knows? So, is there any specific quarterback you wanted to take a look at on his stats that was taken in this draft? Or did we already cover them and you want to...
I think we covered most of the big ones. I wasn't able to see most of the action from week 1, so I didn't really end up seeing how they fared in depth. I just saw, plays here and there.
Real quick, we didn't cover number 1 overall draft pick, Caleb Williams. He went 4 for 7, 95 yards passing, 1 rush, 13 yards. So, not too horrible. He only probably had a couple possessions. Who else was drafted? Where did the Commanders go? Jaden Daniels. He went 2 for 3, 45 yards. He also, he went 1 for 3, 1 rush, 3 yards, and a touchdown. So, Sam Hartman, he went 8 for 13 and 83 yards. And he also had 2 rushes for 15 yards, about 7.5 yards per carry.
Pretty good debut.
I was a fan of that glorious hair in college. He's a little older coming out of college than typical quarterbacks, but I feel like with the right system and the right team and weapons around him, he could definitely do something. And then they also got my boy Marcus Mariota. He went 1 for 1 on a pass, 6 yards.
Mariota.
The Lions. Didn't they draft Hendon Hooker? 5 for 9, 36 passing yards. You probably didn't see it. You may have. It was the Lions game. That man trucked someone. It was a violent truck.
No, I didn't see it.
Go ahead and look that up later tonight. Hendon Hooker's truck in the preseason. He had 4 rushes, 34 yards, about 8.5 yards per carry. So not too bad. Michael Penix Jr. 9 of 16, 104 yards passing, and he did not have a rush. So that's pretty good. 9 of 16, that's 50%, and over 100 yards. That's not too shabby. I would like to see that out of a rookie quarterback, week 1, in the preseason. I think that is about it. Raiders didn't take anyone. We can touch up on Bo Nix and be done with the rookie quarterbacks, and then we'd be moving on to college. So not really too much longer. Like we said, tonight may be a shorter night. Definitely not going to be the 3 hours we did last week.
No.
Bo Nix, he went 15 for 21, 125 passing yards, a touchdown. And he also had 3 rushes for 17 yards, averaging out to about 5.7 yards a rush. I'm excited to see what he can do.
He's a good fit for that offense.
And I feel like with Sean Payton having his hands on him, Sean Payton may have found his next Drew Brees. I'm hesitant on saying that because Drew Brees is, in my book, one of the best quarterbacks all time. Yeah, he may not have the championships to show it or anything. He does have 1 Super Bowl, but their play style is just so similar. They're both super accurate. They're both shorter quarterbacks. I mean, that's the type of quarterback Sean Payton loves to coach. Only time will tell. Question mark after this. Is Bo Nix the next Drew Brees?
Can't go that far. He hasn't played a snap. He hasn't played like that yet.
He hasn't, but that's also who his NFL comparison was coming into the draft.
I mean, that's fair, but
so
I mean,
he's going to have to be living with that the rest of his career.
The only thing that's going to tell that is time itself. So we ain't going to find that till he starts playing ball. But
I'm excited to see what Bo can do. 15.
I think he's a good fit for that system, though. I'm excited to watch him there.
Maybe get him a couple other big name receivers or something. But yeah, no. Definitely excited to see what that man can do. Moving on from the NFL. We forgot to talk about JJ McCarthy. Sorry. He got an injury. MRI shows a meniscus tear. We're not sure how long he's going to be out, but he is going to need surgery. And there are two different options. If it's not too bad and they can just trim it, he may be out for a few weeks. Be like a minor surgery. But if they have to repair it, he'll be out a few months. So, as of right now, the Minnesota Vikings are leaning towards having Sam Darnold as their quarterback for week 1. He is kind of penciled in right now to be the starter, and he will be taking first team reps. So, we will keep an eye on that story. Give an update on JJ next week, and hopefully it's not too bad, because you said you didn't see it. Definitely go back and watch that man's highlights from the preseason week 1. He was lighting it up. Where they played the Raiders. They got the 1-point win over the Raiders, and JJ went 11 for 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 rushes, 18 yards. So it looks like he was settling in very nice. A couple of those deep throws that he had too were some dots, and that was one thing people were questioning him about coming into the draft, was his throwing accuracy and downfield. So moving on from the NFL now, we will be going and doing a quick review of the preseason top 25 rankings. So, do you have the list pulled up, or do you want me to read it off?
Yeah, if you got it pulled up.
Yes, I do. Alright, so number 1, you got the Georgia Bulldogs, 46 first place votes. Number 2, you got Ohio State with 15 votes. Then number 3, you got the Oregon Ducks with a single vote. Number 4, you got Texas Longhorns. Number 5, you got Alabama. Number 6, you got Ole Miss. Number 7, you got Notre Dame. Number 8, you got Penn State. Number 9, you got Michigan. Number 10, you got Florida State. How do you feel about the top 10 so far?
I feel like the top 10 is pretty fair. I feel like there's a couple that could have gone either way. Like, what was it? It was Penn State and Utah that you listed. Was it Utah? Who was it? Penn State and who?
Notre Dame at 7, Penn State at 8, Michigan at 9.
Florida State at 10.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Number 6 was Ole Miss.
Notre Dame you said Notre Dame at 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair spot. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of this year plays out for them. Penn State at 8. Yeah, I feel like that's an accurate spot. You could probably argue 8 or 9 for them, just kind of based off of their production last year, where they finished the year last year. Drew Aller, their quarterback now, I don't know how much faith I have in him. So this year will be interesting for them. I do like them at 8,
why do you say that about Drew? Just to give our listeners some perspective if they don't know anything about him.
I just don't. So at least so
it says he was a former 5-star recruit. So
stars don't mean nothing anymore. I just don't think he has like that it factor. Like I just don't think he's the guy that could like take over a game. I mean, you know, maybe that's just the youth in him still, but I mean, we'll see. He could prove me wrong. I hope he does. I don't know. To me, right now I just don't trust him.
And that's all right. Florida State at 10. We were talking the other week about how we couldn't figure out who their quarterback was. It looks like they have former Clemson and Oregon State quarterback DJ
Uiagalelei.
There you go. Replaces Jordan Travis as the face of the team, and his play is paramount to the Seminoles.
That's a good fit.
Hopefully they can.
I'm expecting them back in the playoffs.
Hopefully they can do what they did last year and not get screwed again.
Mm-hmm.
So, continuing on, number 11, you have Missouri, or some people like to call them Mizzou. 12, you got the Utahs that you were thinking of. 13, LSU. 14, Clemson. 15, Tennessee. 16, Oklahoma. 17, Oklahoma State. 18, Kansas State. 19, Miami Hurricanes. 20, Texas A&M. 21, Arizona. 22, Kansas Jayhawks. 23, USC. 24, North Carolina State. And rounding out is top 25, Iowa Hawkeyes. We got some honorable mentions. Other teams that received votings: Louisville, Texas Tech, Boise State, SMU, Iowa State, Liberty, Washington, West Virginia, Memphis, Nebraska, Wisconsin, UTSA, Tulane, Appalachian. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on how to pronounce it.
Appalachian State.
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't figure out how to throw that L in there. I don't know why, but on the video game, I've really thought about taking a couple players there. I've heard it's a okay-ish program.
What, App State?
So I think the next Road to Glory I do, I may start out in the lower tier, see what kind of damage I can do, and then go to a bigger conference. But I've been hearing a lot of good talk about them for the past couple years at least. And after them, you got Kentucky, Auburn, and Colorado. So
Colorado getting votes at 4 and 8 is crazy to me.
They got a single vote.
The fact they got a single vote is crazy to me.
They got that single vote probably because of Dion. But from 10 to 25, I know that's more than half, but how do you feel like the last 15 schools rounded out? Any one you would take out? Any one you would put in? You want me to read off going from 11 down a couple schools to give you a refresher? We break those down, or?
No, I mean, I think it's a solid middle and end of the list. I think that all the teams were kind of ranked pretty respectfully. I mean, honestly, Iowa, I'd probably put Iowa a little higher than 25, though. I'd probably put them maybe like 21.
22 is what I was like thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always got a good defense, it seems like. Their offense is very hit or miss.
No, it's not. It's never a hit. Don't lie.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice, alright? So, Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty good ranking list also. If I had to say, I would maybe say take Kansas out, but their football program has been coming up the past few years. They're mostly known as a basketball school, so maybe that's why I'm saying take Kansas out of the top 25, is just because I don't see them as a football school yet.
Yeah.
But they're definitely going in the right direction. It's just they're blue bloods in basketball. Like that is what they are known for. They are one of the Kentuckys. They're one of the Georgia, Alabama, Clemson in basketball. Like I just football wise, yeah, they got some players, but I'm not completely sold on them yet. I would have much rather put, out of these teams that got votings, I would have put maybe Louisville, Virginia Tech, Boise, maybe even like a West Virginia or a Wisconsin in the top 25 to end it. Somewhere in like the last 3 or 4 teams, but we'll just have to see how the season goes, and how badly this changes. I'm really curious about that, so one of us should write this down or take some screenshots or something and compare it at the end of the season when it's all said and done, and see who's still in it, who dropped out, all that fun stuff. I don't really think there's much more for college. You probably haven't seen that video I sent you of that kid that plays quarterback and he's only a sophomore in high school, did you? I forget his name. He is like 6'4", 230 already. He was the first person ever in his city to start varsity as a freshman. And he's already getting looks from some big schools, apparently.
Good for him.
Man throws a tight spiral. And every throw I saw, it was dot after dot after dot. So, may do some more research on that kid for next week. But he looks good. Definitely look it up. Check it out along with those couple NFL highlights I sent you for week 1. But yeah, so we're basically done with the college football talks. We're just gonna sit here and hang out with you guys for a little bit and talk to you about how we've been enjoying the college football video game, if we have, if we haven't, what kind of changes we would like to see, what some of our favorite experiences we've had so far. So I'll let you go first, Brennan. Why don't you tell us how you've been enjoying or not enjoying this college football game that we finally have back after 11 years, and yeah, just what have you been doing on there? What's one of the favorite games you've played, or a favorite play, or just tell us overall what you think of the game and your experience.
I think in total you just asked me like 9 questions in 4 statements right there. That was kind of crazy.
What can I say?
No, I love the game. It's still one of my favorites. I don't think I'll be deleting it off my console anytime soon, if ever.
Especially since I've been hearing people on YouTube and TikTok saying how Madden is trash again. This one person said he was going to give it 60 minutes to impress him. There was like 33 minutes left, and he ended up saying he was going to uninstall it, quit the game he was playing. He said even though Kadarius Toney ran like a 4.23 40-yard dash, he said he felt very slow.
Oh, I bet.
So I don't plan on getting Madden. If I do, it's going to be when it's hella discounted or free on the Xbox store. And the only reason why I'm going to get it is to transfer my Road to Glory players over.
Well, I'm not going to get it, period, but
the only way I'm getting it is if I have to pay like $5-10 or it's free. I'm not paying more than $10 for that game.
I mean, I've enjoyed NCAA up to this point. It's been anger-inducing in a lot of aspects, especially with the pass protection from the O-line. In a lot of aspects, but I've been playing a lot of Dynasty and Road to Glory. Still running my Dynasty, or still running my Road to Glory with my quarterback at TCU. I'm pretty sure I have them in the college football playoff right now.
Still freshman year, or
I think it's sophomore year. Got a running back at Wazoo. Wazoo is absolute cheeks in this game. Not gonna front. 5-star running back. We were 1-5, and my coach lets me touch the ball like 3 times max the entire game. Absolute cheeks. It's unbearable. Wazoo fans, I'm so sorry that this is what you guys got in this game after 11 years. Y'all are terrible, but it's still been fun playing a lot of my Dynasty. I'm obviously running my Purdue Dynasty because that's the only way we're gonna ever hoist a chip. But
have you done it yet?
Nah, not yet. I think I'm still like 1 or 2 games out from ending the regular season.
In the first year?
Mm-hmm. Right. We're number 2 in the country.
Oh wow, Purdue number 2. How'd that happen?
We stack wins.
All right, blowout wins, close wins.
A little bit of both. I've kind of had to mess with the sliders a lot in the game because originally when I started the Dynasty, it was like 10-minute quarters with no accelerated clock, and
I lower that bitch down to 5. 6.
Me and the CPU were putting up like 70 points a game respectively, and I was like, all right, this is outrageous. So
there's times on my I cannot talk tonight. Tulane, whatever. It's been a long day, all right. Tulane Dynasty, where I got some speed on the outside, honestly. They could be a dangerous team if they had some more pieces. But there's been times where I'm putting up 70, 80 points on people. And it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah, I dropped my quarter lengths down to like 6 minutes, threw on the accelerated clock.
Yep, that's typically what I do, about anywhere from 5-7 minute quarters, and have like 20 seconds left on the accelerated clock.
Yeah, that's what I do too. It makes the game go a lot quicker. It's kind of made the games more manageable.
You play both sides, just offense, just defense?
Yeah, I play both sides.
If I'm blowing a team out, I'll just end up switching it to play just offense, because it's like, all right, you're not moving the ball on me. See what you can do against the AI.
Yeah, but up the difficulty on it a little bit too. I've had fun with it. It's been fun. I'll be playing it tonight after we're done recording. So, I love it, and I'm gonna keep grinding it. I'm not gonna stop playing it anytime soon.
No. Yeah. So, I've kind of been doing a little bit of everything besides Ultimate Team. If you know me, I'm not a fan of Ultimate Team. If you don't have the coins or money, whatever, you're not getting any really good cards. The card pack odds are like horrible.
It's pay to win.
You gotta do all these different missions and side quests and all that to get cards, and I don't got time for that. Just let me play and I'll go from there. I've been doing, like I said, a little bit of everything. Road to the college football playoffs. My record on that mode is like 20-9. You play against people online, 3-minute quarters. Most of my losses, unfortunately, are because I had to just quit the game because a baby woke up during the night or something, had to take care of the baby. So I should realistically have more wins and less losses, because technically I've only, to the end of the game, I've only lost like 3 games. So about 5 to 6 of my losses are just because I had to quit gaming and turn on dad mode, which I'm not trying to sound ungrateful or anything. Like, my kids come before the games, so if they wake up, I'm gonna go take care of them. It's just unfortunate that I had to take a loss, that there were 2 games I was winning. Dude was so close to quitting, I could tell, because I was almost 21 points up on him. And baby wakes up, so I have to quit. But other than that, man, it took a couple games to find some defense, but I found my defensive package. I've made a lot of people quit. That's majority of my wins, are just making people quit. I have played an ally 2 times now. I was my Ducks. First game, he was Georgia, the number 1 ranked team. We were at Georgia, I believe. We may have been at Oregon. Either way, he has the number 1 team. I have the number 4 team. He ends up quitting on me. 3rd quarter. Like, I thought we were friends, you know? Just be competitive. Don't just quit. Like, you literally stopped me. Just stopped me from crossing that goal line. And then you quit. Second game, he picks Texas. Number, 5 ranked team, 3rd. They're very close to Oregon's ranking. It was 19-0. He threw like 3 picks in like double, triple coverage. And he quits 19-0. It's like, dude, just finish the game. Like, you could still come back. I have found kickoff returns, or they can be pretty easy to return. I've taken my fair share of them back to the house. Made a 55-yard field goal. I also made a 48-yard field goal, which in past years, that's not really much to be bragging about. But, this year, kicking's no joke past 20 yards.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And it looked like my kicker for Oregon could have possibly made like a 58, 59 yarder on the 55 yard. Like I still had some distance I could have went. So that's been fun. I've played Road to Glory. I have a quarterback. I was at TCU my first year. Ended up hitting the transfer portal and going to the University of North Carolina. I haven't really played much of him since that. I have a running back that I started on Florida. We won the Natty. I won Best Running Back of the Year. I won the Heisman. I had like just over 1,900 rushing yards, 20 rushing touchdowns. Hit the transfer portal. Went to the University of Oregon, obviously. Been killing it in there. I have a corner that I just actually finished up his season last night at Tennessee, and I was the best corner in the nation, with like 5 picks, 2 touchdowns, and almost like 40 tackles, I think. Hit transfer portal. Tennessee's offense is not that. There were so many games that we lost. We finished unranked. We lost so many games just because our offense couldn't move the ball or score, and it was very annoying. So I got up out of there and went to Miami. So been thinking about making a receiver or a linebacker. Just can't really decide which position I want to make. And then, like I said, I got my Tulane dynasty. We're at the end of the season. I do know that. I forget what week, but one of my receivers is actually leading the Heisman race last time I saw. I got a couple 4-star recruits coming in on visits within the next couple weeks. I got a couple people with a green gem by them, so it seems like it's a little promising. I may be able to bring in some help this off season, and yeah, been loving it. I've had a couple friends try and get me off that game to play something else, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not happening. It's definitely been fun. Tackling could be better, but also I kind of like it, and not just because tackling sucks. There are multiple videos out there from real life games that is very similar to how the tackling in college football is. Like how players are breaking those arm tackles. How many times have you seen that in college, in real life? Someone breaks 4 or 5 tackles, busted downfield for a big gain. Or even a few years ago, I know there's a play where Joe Burrow, when he was at LSU, he was moving around in the backfield, and you kind of saw it right there on the TV. Like, those kind of tackles right there. The little, like, arm and grab the jersey. Like, that stuff actually happens in the game. It's not just a guarantee, oh, I'm literally right next to you, you're going to be tackled. No, you have to get, like, the right angle. You got to do the right kind of tackling. Because I'm not going to lie, there's been a couple times on my DB Road to Glory, I see the running back or quarterback running right at me. I try to do a hit stick. My ass going to the sideline because I missed it so bad. Like, you have to time it. And I feel like people will just keep dogging the tackling. What if it's actually like a skill thing? And you have to get that timing down. You have to actually practice tackling. Like, what if it's one of those types of things? Because there's been players I play against that are getting every single tackle possible. Anytime they touch me, I'm going down. But there's times where I got 4 or 5 dudes trying to tackle one guy, and he's 5'8", 190 pounds, and he's breaking every single tackle. Like,
yeah.
So it's realistic in a way, but it's also annoying. I do wonder if it is like a skill thing and people just need to practice it because it's a new game. We haven't had this game for 11 years. They've done a lot of changing. They're quote-unquote changing Madden so much that it's supposed to be like NCAA. But NCAA is still better, in my opinion. So I'm definitely still going to be playing it, depending on when we wrap this up. I may get some time in on the game before I go DoorDash, just to kill some time, or when I get home from it. So either way, should definitely get some college football in tonight. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I am going to tell you, I almost took my corner to Purdue. But Miami has just a little better offense. So,
true.
Because Tennessee's offense was like an 86 overall. Purdue's like an 82 overall on offense.
Yeah.
And Tennessee was struggling to move the ball, so I decided to go with another 86 overall offense in Miami, hoping for the best. So we'll see how that turns out. Got anything?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. Go ahead and look us up on social media at Ready Football. There is one that is just slightly different. I am trying to figure out which one. I am so sorry. Twitter, instead of Ready Football, all spelled out, it is Ready F Ball 2024. So make sure you go ahead and follow us on social media. We also have some tree links with all the different links we have for social media. So if you go to one of them, you should just be able to click this link tree, and then it'll show you all the links: Instagram, Twitter /X, Threads. I have my personal TikTok up there. So if you want to go check out some gaming clips, I definitely have a lot of college football gaming clips up there. and we'll be posting a lot more. Also got some Madden, some 2K, a couple Call of Duties and whatnot. But if you haven't seen gameplay or you just want to check some of it out, you could find my TikTok on the link tree. We should be getting YouTube added to that within the next couple days also. So yeah, let's go ahead and get those social medias going, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, take care.
All right, you guys have a good one. Ready Football out.